Good morning, everyone. Welcome to Scribble Time with Panda. Today's theme is going to be about video game characters. So, if for those of you in the live chat right now, please post your chat suggestions. I've gotten a few suggestions from Facebook. So let's just get started today. So grab your pencils, grab your crayons, grab any kind of marking device, and let's get going. But please don't draw on the walls, but draw on your paper. Hopefully. If you don't find anything like a newspaper, find anything like any kind of surface that you don't mind having doodles on. So the first suggestion today is from Ming, and we're going to have two Pokemon characters. We're going to have Charizard and Gardevoir. I am not, I'm a little bit older to have gotten into Pokemon, or I kind of got around at the same time, like right after me. So anyways, I also got a Solid Snake, so we'll put that in there. And feel free to post and repost this link to your friends and family who are interested in watching or participating in a drawing session with an artist. So and feel free to just add those, and also have questions. Post questions too if you guys have any. I'm sure there's a lot that you could probably ask, but I'll leave that up to you. And today we're just gonna start with Charizard, a Charizard Panda. So I'm just gonna draw a panda just for a reference. So for those of you new to the stream who don't know what this is all about, I draw a character called Punching Pandas, and the panda is this character that I've been drawing since 2009 or 2008, and the stream is all about drawing my character in these different forms, whether it's he's driving a car, or he's maybe drawing him as a unicorn, or drawing him as a Charizard. So I'm just going to show a little base template here of who this character is. This is Pack the Panda. He is he's very smart, very wise, but he's really too lazy to do anything about it, and he generally is pretty dependable, but he's just he's pretty dependable, but he doesn't take many jobs because, of course, that's just too much work. All right, so I'm just gonna put him off to the side there, and that will just be our base for today, just to show people why am I drawing Pokemon or drawing other fantasy characters kind of in this weird way with boxing gloves. Well, that answers your question because there is this guy here. So we're going to do a Charizard. Charizard is obviously a Pokemon character, one of the most well-known that we've seen. So I'm going to give him these two. Actually, let's do this. I'm going to change the pose a little bit. So, because normally he's like doing some very let's see, he's doing kind of like always like a heroic type of pose where he's like he's always like has his arms up, he's like like kind of has his shoulders up like this, and always looking very mean and angry all the time. So I'm just gonna do that. Maybe have his belly facing this, pointing this way, and then his head pointing that way. So I'm just going to give him those two little knobs on his head. And then I'm going to give him a little bit of a snout because he's a dragon, and dragons kind of need that snout to feel dragon-like. I'm going to move this over here so that it doesn't get in the way. It may not be on model, but sometimes you need to just scoot things out of the way to make sure it's readable. So I'm going to go like this. Give him like a big angry mouth. And then I'm just going to breathe fire out here. because that's what he does. And so sometimes with drawing fire, it's helpful to like maybe have like a simple side. So this is my simple side right here, and then this is my busy side where it's all crazy like that. So if you're trying to draw fire, sometimes make one of the sides a little bit simpler and the other side's a little bit busier. Okay, I'm gonna add maybe I should make him a little bit fatter like that. Maybe move this arm a little bit because I don't want really this thumb touching his body like that, because it kind of makes your drawing look a little bit flat. It's what we call a tangent. And then he has kind of like a belly here. The challenges with this is always that the panda is always so fat. It's such a fat shape that you want that you have to make sure that his belly gets enough volume, but you also don't want it to get in the way of other things like the limbs and such. So I'm just going to shade that in. So this is what a Charizard panda looks like. I'm going to color him in a little bit and give him so as I'm doing that, feel free to continue posting in the chat. And lastly, he has some wings. Wings are always interesting because wings they're kind of like hands. So if you actually look at how wings are, like the skeleton behind the wings, like if you eat some like if you eat chicken wings, and you just look at how they're what constructs them, or like how do they connect together, how the bones connect together. There's actually a lot that you can actually learn from bird anatomy, because what you'll find is that they actually are like hands, and so it's pretty interesting. So I would say like, so wings are going like that. Okay, so that's your Charizard panda. Oh, sorry, and he also has a tail too. So let's give that tail. Of course, I almost forgot about the tail. That was like one of the most important things about him. He's got a tail. Yeah, add little embers and stuff like that. Okay, so also what helps sometimes when you're drawing a lot, if it's really sketchy like this, is to draw over the kind of the outline of it to make it